Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to step through the looking glass into a world that, well, it probably feels strangely familiar. You know, a world of absolutely flawless images, perfectly curated lives, and that nagging feeling that reality itself has been upgraded. What if the copy is actually better than the original now?
I mean, just look around on your screen, on billboards, just scrolling through your feed. Everything is so glossy, so perfect, maybe a little too perfect, right? These hyper realistic 3D graphics, these impossibly polished photos, they kind of force you to ask a really basic question. Is any of this even real anymore? You know that feeling I'm talking about, where the copies of things, the images, the symbols, the logos, they start to feel more important, more real than the actual things they're supposed to represent? Well, that feeling has a name. Welcome to the hyper real. It's this place where the map hasn't just replaced the territory. It's become the only territory we know.
Now, what's really fascinating here is that this isn't just some new sci-fi idea. Nope, this is a whole theory from a thinker who pretty much saw all of this coming decades ago. He argued that we're just surrounded by this constant flood of images that don't just reflect our world, they're actively creating a new one, a better one, and offering themselves up in place of the real thing.
So the man behind these totally mind-bending ideas was the French sociologist Jean Baudrillard. And he wasn't just some stuffy academic. People have called him the high priest, even the prophet of postmodernism, because he had this almost uncanny ability to diagnose the strange new reality that was taking shape all around us.
And Baudrillard's own intellectual journey is pretty amazing. He starts out back in 1968, right in the middle of the Paris student revolts. His early stuff was all Marxist, critiquing consumerism. But then by 1973, he makes this huge radical break. He basically said, hey, Marx was wrong to focus only on who owns the factories, the production. Baudrillard saw that the real power was shifting to whoever controls the images and the signs. And that realization, that became the foundation for his most famous work in 1983, Simulations, which is basically the blueprint for the hyper-real world we're living in right now. Okay, so how do we even get our heads around this? Well, Baudrillard gives us a brand new language with three key concepts that are kind of like a decoder ring for the modern world. And trust me, once you get these, you're going to start seeing them absolutely everywhere. First up, simulacra. Okay, here's the crazy twist. These are copies of things that have no original. Yeah, think about a perfectly rendered dragon in a movie. It's a flawless image, right? A perfect copy of something that never, ever existed. Simulacra are the building blocks of the hyperreal. Next, you've got simulation. So if simulacra are the bricks, then simulation is the act of building the house. It's the whole process of generating a new reality from these models that have no origin. We're not just looking at fake images anymore. We are literally living inside the process where the symbols of reality have become more important than reality itself. And all of that brings us to our final destination, the hyper-real. This is the world where the simulation is so complete, so totally immersive, that we don't even notice the difference anymore. It's a reality built entirely from models, leaving us, in Baudrillard's really haunting phrase, with the desert of the real itself. I know, this all sounds pretty abstract, doesn't it? So let's make it concrete. Let's use Baudrillard's most famous and probably most provocative example to see how this all works in the world. Or, what's left of it. Let's talk about Disneyland. And here it is. This is Baudrillard's bombshell argument. He says Disneyland isn't just a fun theme park. No, its true function is ideological. He says it's there to make us believe that everything outside its walls, all the rest of America, is real by comparison. This chart just breaks it down perfectly. We think of Disneyland as the fantasy, right? The cartoon world we escape to. But Baudrillard completely flips it. He argues the real illusion is the idea that the rest of America isn't also a simulation. For him, a society obsessed with simple stories and consumer fantasy, what he called an infantilized culture, is the true simulation. Disneyland is just the alibi, the thing that makes everything else seem authentic. So what happens when this kind of logic escapes the theme park? Well, for Baudrillard, it already has. The principles of Disneyland haven't stayed behind those gates. They've spilled out and, well, they've kind of consumed everything. And this logic just thrives in our consumer society. Baudrillard argues our entire social world isn't organized around genuine human needs or relationships anymore. Nope. It's organized by what he calls a system of objects. And think about it. It makes sense. Our identities, our social status, even our self-worth, it's all defined by what we buy, what we own, and what we want.
It's a competition based on consumption, not on creation.
And if you look around today, his predictions are just eerily on point. I mean, think about reality TV shows that simulate human drama, news channels that create these perfect, digestible narratives instead of just giving us raw facts, social media feeds that simulate friendship and community, even wars, which are so often presented to us as these clean, spectacular media events, totally detached from their awful reality. The entire landscape is a simulation.
And that brings us right back to his powerful and frankly chilling conclusion. If our reality has been replaced by this endless stream of codes and signs and manufactured images, if the map is now the only territory we have, then we are truly living in the world he described. We have inherited the desert of the real. So the takeaway here isn't just some complicated academic theory. It's really a new lens for seeing our own world a little more clearly. And it leaves all of us with one final, unavoidable question to chew on. If this is the simulation, then what exactly is real?